What if I told you that the strongest, leanest, most muscular people on this planet are quietly getting their protein from somewhere you'd never expect? Not from a shaker bottle, not from a chicken breast, from plants. From foods sitting in your pantry right now that most people walk past without a second thought. Most people believe you need meat to build real muscle. That's what the supplement industry wants you to believe. That's what the fitness magazines have been telling you for decades. But the truth is, some of these plants contain more protein, gram for gram, than steak, chicken, or eggs, and today I'm going to walk you through 20 of them, ranked from impressive to absolutely unbelievable. Stick around, because number 19 on this list is nearly 3 times more protein-dense than beef, and number 20 is a tree that international health organizations use to fight malnutrition in some of the poorest regions on Earth. If you care about your muscles, your health, or just want to know what your body is actually capable of running on, you need to see this list. Let's get into it. Plant 1. Lentils, the undisputed protein king of the plant world. 1 cooked cup of lentils delivers around 18 grams of protein. That's more than 3 eggs, that's more than a full cup of Greek yogurt, and lentils cost pennies per serving. But here's the part nobody talks about. Lentils are also loaded with iron, folate, and slow-digesting carbohydrates that keep your energy steady for hours instead of spiking and crashing like refined sugar does. For anyone training hard, that steady fuel matters as much as the protein itself. Civilizations have run on lentils for thousands of years, long before anyone had ever heard the word bodybuilding. They cook in 20 minutes, no soaking required, and they store for years in a dry pantry without losing a single gram of nutritional value. If you had to pick one plant protein to build a diet around, lentils would be the smartest place to start. Plant 2. Chickpeas, the ancient protein that refuses to go away. Chickpeas pack about 15 grams of protein per cooked cup, and humans have been eating them for roughly 10,000 years. That's not a trend, that's a track record. What makes chickpeas particularly useful for muscle building is their leucine content, an amino acid that plays a direct role in triggering muscle protein synthesis, the actual biological process your body uses to repair and grow muscle fibers after a workout. Chickpeas are also remarkably easy to prepare in bulk. Roast them for a crunchy snack, blend them into hummus, toss them into a curry, or mash them into patties. Dried chickpeas sit on a shelf for years without spoiling, which means once you stock up, you have a reliable protein source that never goes bad in the back of your fridge. Plant 3. Black beans, the budget powerhouse. A single cooked cup of black beans gives you roughly 15 grams of protein alongside 15 grams of fiber. That combination is exactly what your body wants after a workout. The protein rebuilds muscle tissue, while the fiber and complex carbohydrates slowly refill your glycogen stores, which is the fuel your muscles actually burn during intense training. Black beans have fed entire civilizations across Central and South America for thousands of years, and they remain one of the cheapest, most nutrient-dense foods available anywhere on the planet. Dried, they store almost indefinitely. Cooked, they freeze beautifully in batches. There's a reason nutritionists keep coming back to this humble little bean. It simply performs. Plant 4. Kidney beans, the recovery bean. Kidney beans bring about 13 grams of protein per cooked cup, but the real advantage lies in their mineral profile. They're rich in magnesium and potassium, 2 minerals that play a direct role in muscle contraction and preventing cramping during intense exercise. Athletes who deal with muscle cramps often discover their diet is quietly missing exactly what kidney beans provide in abundance. They also carry a low glycemic index, meaning they release energy slowly rather than spiking blood sugar. That slow release keeps you fuller for longer and prevents the energy crash that derails so many people's workouts halfway through. Kidney beans are proof that some of the most effective recovery foods were sitting in your pantry the entire time. Plant 5. Edamame, the pre-workout secret. Edamame, which are simply young soybeans harvested before they fully mature, deliver an impressive 17 grams of protein per cooked cup. Unlike most plant proteins, edamame is a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot produce on its own and must get from food. Athletes across Japan have eaten edamame before training sessions for generations, and modern sports nutrition is finally catching up to why. The combination of complete protein and quick-digesting carbohydrates makes it an ideal pre-workout snack that fuels performance without weighing you down. Steamed, lightly salted, and eaten straight from the pod, Edamame might be one of the simplest high-protein foods you're not eating enough of. Plant 6. Tofu, the shape-shifting protein. Tofu is made from condensed soy milk, and depending on the firmness, it delivers anywhere from 10 to 20 grams of protein per serving. What makes tofu genuinely remarkable is its versatility. It absorbs whatever flavors you cook it with, meaning you can turn it into anything from a savory stir-fry to a creamy dessert, all while packing in complete, high-quality protein. Research on soy protein has consistently shown it supports muscle growth at rates comparable to animal protein when total intake is matched. Entire populations across Asia have built strong, healthy bodies on soy-based diets for generations. Tofu isn't a meat substitute, it's a legitimate protein source that happens to be extraordinarily flexible in the kitchen. Plant 7. Tempeh, the fermented muscle food. Tempeh takes soybeans a step further by fermenting them into a dense, firm cake, and the process actually increases the protein's digestibility. 1 cup of tempeh delivers around 31 grams of protein, an amount that rivals or exceeds most cuts of meat entirely. Let that number sink in for a second. 31 grams from a fermented soybean cake. Because tempeh is fermented, it also delivers natural probiotics that support gut health, and a healthier gut means better nutrient absorption across the board, including the protein you're eating from every other source in your diet. Originating in Indonesia centuries ago, tempeh has quietly remained one of the most protein-dense foods on Earth, while the rest of the world obsessed over protein powders. Plant 8. Quinoa, the complete protein grain. Quinoa made headlines when nutritionists discovered something unusual. Unlike most plant foods, it contains all 9 essential amino acids in meaningful amounts, making it a genuinely complete protein all on its own. 1 cooked cup delivers about 8 grams of protein, but the completeness of that protein is what sets it apart from ordinary grains. Ancient civilizations in the Andes called quinoa the mother grain, and their warriors reportedly marched and fought on rations built around it. Today, space agencies studying long-duration missions have looked at quinoa specifically because of its exceptional nutrient density relative to its weight, a critical factor when every gram of cargo matters. Plant 9. Buckwheat, the gluten-free muscle grain. Despite the name, buckwheat isn't wheat at all, it's a seed, and it delivers about 6 grams of complete protein per cooked cup, along with all 9 essential amino acids. It's also naturally free of gluten, making it one of the few grain alternatives that people with sensitivities can rely on without sacrificing protein quality. Buckwheat digests slowly, which means steady energy release rather than a sudden spike and crash. It's been a staple in Eastern European and Japanese diets for centuries, appearing in everything from noodles to porridge. Athletes looking for sustained energy during long training sessions have quietly relied on buckwheat long before it ever showed up on a wellness influencer's plate. Plant 10. Amaranth, the grain empires tried to erase. Amaranth delivers around 9 grams of complete protein per cooked cup, and like quinoa, it contains every essential amino acid your body needs. The Aztec Empire valued amaranth so highly that it was used in religious ceremonies and collected as tax payment. When Spanish colonizers arrived, they banned its cultivation almost immediately, understanding that controlling a population's most powerful food source meant controlling the population itself. Modern research has found that amaranth protein digests remarkably well, with biological values that rival many animal proteins. It also contains a peptide currently being studied for its anti-inflammatory potential. Amaranth survived attempts to erase it entirely, and it's still sitting quietly in health food stores today, waiting for people to realize what they're looking at. Plant 11. Hemp seeds, the complete protein hiding in plain sight. 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds deliver about 10 grams of complete protein, built primarily from 2 highly digestible proteins called edestin and albumin. Studies comparing protein digestibility have found hemp holds its own against soy and even egg whites, which is a remarkable claim for a seed most people have never cooked with. Hemp also delivers an excellent ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids, supporting the anti-inflammatory environment your body needs to recover between workouts. The plant grows fast, needs very little water, and actually improves the soil it's grown in. For decades, hemp carried an unfair stigma because of its relative, but the amino acid profile doesn't care about reputation. It simply delivers. Plant 12. Chia seeds, tiny but relentless. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds provide about 5 grams of protein, along with 11 grams of fiber and a substantial dose of omega-3 fatty acids. Ounce for ounce, chia seeds actually contain more protein than many cuts of meat when compared by dry weight, a fact that surprises most people the first time they hear it. Historical accounts describe warriors consuming chia as a primary source of sustained energy during long journeys and physical exertion, and the word itself is believed to derive from an ancient word meaning strength. Endurance athletes today are rediscovering exactly why. The combination of protein, healthy fat, and slow-release carbohydrate makes chia one of the most efficient fuel sources found in nature. Plant 13. Pumpkin seeds, the mineral-loaded muscle fuel. 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds delivers about 9 grams of protein, putting them ahead of the same weight of ground beef, but protein is only part of the story. Pumpkin seeds are also one of the richest natural sources of magnesium and zinc, 2 minerals directly tied to muscle function, hormone production, and recovery after exercise. Zinc deficiency has been shown to impair muscle growth and athletic performance, and a surprising number of people are deficient without realizing it. Pumpkin seeds solve that gap while delivering serious protein at the same time. Roasted with a bit of salt, they turn a food most people throw in the trash every autumn into one of the most efficient snacks available. Plant 14. Sunflower seeds, the overlooked gym bag staple. Sunflower seeds contain roughly 6 grams of protein per ounce, along with healthy fats and a strong dose of vitamin E, an antioxidant that helps protect muscle cells from the oxidative stress caused by intense training. They're also rich in selenium, a mineral involved in metabolic regulation and thyroid function, both of which influence how effectively your body builds and maintains muscle. Sunflower seeds have quietly sat in gym bags and lunchboxes for generations, mostly overlooked as a snack rather than recognized as a legitimate protein source, but the numbers don't lie. A handful a day adds up to meaningful protein intake over the course of a week, delivered alongside nutrients that directly support recovery. Plant 15. Peanuts, the everyday muscle builder. Peanuts deliver about 7 grams of protein per ounce, more than any other commonly available nut. Peanut butter in particular has quietly fueled athletes for over a century, offering a dense calorie-to-protein ratio that makes it far easier to eat enough food to support muscle growth, especially for people who struggle to gain weight. Research has found that regular nut consumption is consistently associated with healthier body weight despite the relatively high calorie content, suggesting the protein and fiber combination supports better metabolic function overall. Peanuts never needed to be rediscovered because they never disappeared. They've simply been reliable the entire time, sitting in almost every kitchen on the planet. Plant 16. Pistachios, the protein nut with a low-calorie cost. Pistachios offer around 6 grams of protein per ounce, but what sets them apart is how few calories you pay for that protein compared to most other nuts. They're also one of the few nuts that provide a genuinely complete amino acid profile, making them unusually efficient for muscle repair relative to their size. Pistachios are naturally rich in potassium, which plays a critical role in muscle contraction and helps prevent the cramping that can derail a hard training session. Eaten in the shell, they also slow down how quickly you snack, since cracking each one takes a moment, which naturally helps with portion control while you're still getting a serious protein boost. Plant 17. Oats, the steady fuel protein grain. A single cup of cooked oats delivers about 6 grams of protein, along with beta-glucan, a specific type of fiber shown in research to support heart health and stabilize blood sugar. Stable blood sugar means steadier energy throughout a workout, without the crash that comes from faster digesting carbohydrates. Oats have fueled endurance athletes for generations because they combine protein, complex carbohydrates, and sustained energy release in a single, inexpensive food. Add a scoop of nut butter or a handful of hemp seeds, and a simple bowl of oats becomes a genuinely serious protein meal, not just a bland breakfast filler. Plant 18. Nutritional yeast, the savory protein secret. 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast deliver an impressive 8 grams of complete protein, along with naturally occurring B vitamins that support energy metabolism. Many brands are also fortified with B12, a nutrient that plant-based eaters often struggle to get enough of, making nutritional yeast a genuinely practical addition for anyone building a plant-focused diet. It carries a savory, slightly cheesy flavor that works sprinkled over popcorn, pasta, roasted vegetables, or blended into sauces. Despite the unusual name, nutritional yeast has become a staple in serious plant-based athletic diets precisely because it delivers real, complete protein in a form that's easy to add to almost anything you're already cooking. Plant 19. Spirulina, the microscopic protein monster. Now we're entering territory that genuinely changes how you think about protein. Spirulina, a blue-green microalgae, is made up of roughly 60 to 70% protein by dry weight. Beef comes in at around 26%, chicken sits around 31%. Spirulina nearly triples both of them, from an organism you can grow in a tank of water. Cultures around Lake Chad in Africa and Lake Texcoco in Mexico have consumed spirulina for centuries, and space agencies have studied it as a potential food source for long-duration missions because of its extraordinary nutrient density relative to weight. 2 tablespoons deliver about 8 grams of highly absorbable protein, along with iron and powerful antioxidants. Nothing in a standard grocery store meat aisle comes close to that concentration. Plant 20. Moringa, the miracle tree. And here we are at number 20, saved for last because it may be the most remarkable plant on this entire list. Moringa oleifera, often called the miracle tree, contains about 27 grams of protein per 100 grams of dried leaf powder, and it's a complete protein containing all 9 essential amino acids. Gram for gram, dried moringa leaves contain roughly twice the protein of yogurt, several times the potassium of bananas, and far more vitamin C than oranges, all from a single plant. The tree can grow over 10 feet in its first year, tolerates poor soil, and can be harvested multiple times per season in tropical and subtropical climates. Communities across Africa, India, and Southeast Asia have relied on moringa for generations, and international health organizations use it today, specifically in malnutrition programs, because its protein quality and nutrient density are simply unmatched. Moringa is proof that nature already solved the protein problem long before anyone invented a shaker bottle. So here's what all of this really means. You don't need an expensive supplement stack or a diet built entirely around meat to build real, functional muscle. Some of the most protein-dense, nutrient-rich foods on this entire planet are sitting quietly in the produce aisle, the bulk bins, and the pantry, waiting for people to actually pay attention to them. 20 plants. 20 legitimate, science-backed protein sources, several of them rivaling or beating meat gram for gram. That's not a trend, that's not a fad diet talking point, that's simply what the nutritional data shows when you actually look at it closely. If this list changed the way you think about protein and building muscle, let me know which one surprised you the most. Was it lentils? Was it tempeh? Was it spirulina or moringa? Drop your answer, because I genuinely want to know which of these caught you off guard. And if you want more breakdowns like this, stick around, because there's a lot more where this came from. Sometimes the most powerful protein source isn't in a shaker bottle at all. Sometimes it's a bean, a seed, or a leaf, growing quietly, waiting for you to notice it.